What's happening, fam? L.A.R. movement still moving. Book is entitled Lessons from a Non-Custodial Father at Amazon, Kindle, and Create Space. Link will be in the description box below as usual. Go get it. This video is entitled Dealing with the Effeminate Male Mind. What ends up happening is a lot of guys are raised with a matriarchal mindset. And a lot of guys are effeminate, whether they know it or don't know it. Sometimes they're not effeminate as far as their mannerisms and their masculinity, but they're effeminate as far as their mentality. And you get people who are caught off guard because what ends up happening is they think like a woman would. They don't think like men. They think in the aspect of when you hear them communicate that this is how I should think if I'm putting a woman's needs before mine. You get what I'm saying? So what winds up happening is you dealing with an effeminate mind state. And you have guys who have a hard time putting themselves first and recognizing. And they have a harder time recognizing what if they're the head of a situation or actually, or if they're on a leash. Because see, if you're in the head of the situation, you out front. But if you're on a leash, you're still out front, but you're not running things. So I see this from time to time with brothers, not just time to time, but I'm gonna point out some of these things. See, some of you guys are so accustomed to catering to women's wants and desires over your own needs that you expect other men to do it too. So you feel like a man is less of a man if he's not bowing down to a woman's wants and desires. Well, men understand what people need, the difference between what you need and what you want, and men understand the cost of getting the cost assessment of what does it cost me to get the person what they need, and what does it cost me to get the person what they want, and is it actually worth it, and is it beneficial or is it detrimental? And a lot of guys with the effeminate mindset don't even take into consideration that what they're doing is detrimental to themselves and ultimately detrimental to the person who they think they're doing it for. You're not helping people, you're crippling people. And you're starting by crippling yourself, right? A lot of these guys with this effeminate mindset have no inclination about reciprocity. They don't even think that is quid pro quo. They don't even think that somebody's supposed to do something for them. They just think their existence is sacrificial. And it's wrong for you not to sacrifice your life, your time, your money, your efforts, your ingenuity, your intellectual properties. That's just wrong. It's like, come on, man. No, that's not what it is. That's not what it is whatsoever. But when you're dealing with these guys, it's hard to talk to them because they can't fathom anything outside of that paradigm. And unfortunately, people think, people try to talk to these guys as to like bring them to the male side. No, part of it is so they don't lose it, because at some point you're gonna wake up, and at some point you're gonna take an evaluation, and at some point you're gonna take a good hard look at if you were being used or not. And when these guys realize that they've been used, they're quite explosive, and a lot of times this is the issue, because these explosive personalities, these overly emotional personalities, they lash out at men first because they were raised to have a disdain for men. So they lash out at men. They're mad at men because men are the enemy, and what winds up happening is, somewhere along the line in this process, they come to a crossroads and a breaking point when they realize men didn't do these things to me. I wasn't doing these things because men told me to do these things. I wasn't doing these things because I don't dislike men because men told me that men were evil. I didn't make men the enemies. They realized the decisions they made weren't necessarily their own decisions. They realized they were on a leash. And when you realize you're somebody's attack dog, what happens is, when you feel like your quote unquote master is wrong, you attack your master, right? And what happens then? If a dog attacks its owner, they put the dog down. But the difference is, you're a man, you're not a dog. So now, they can't put you down physically because you were programmed to be effeminate. They try to put you down the same way they would put down a woman, mentally and emotionally. They try to, castrate you in that way to put you down. And that's where you reach another crossroads. Because it's not, now, are you going to be a man or are you going to be a pet? And this is where things get tricky for some of these guys, because when they come to the realization, when they become conscious as far as being masculine men, in some ways that pet comes to the other side with its tail between its legs, because it owes the brothers an apology. It owes the brothers reparations, in a sense, because it realizes, man, I did so much dirt and damage. I gotta pay these brothers off. I gotta pay for this, because men are not gonna take, oh, my bad. No, they're not gonna take my bad. Your apology comes with acknowledgement and also atonement. And this is that effeminate mindset. Now, the other thing is this. Some guys are effeminate and they think they're alphas because they were taught how to think like women and operate like women so they can manipulate women. And some of these guys, because of this, they know how to get sex easier out of women than other guys. But this comes with a cost. Because when you make attraction and sex the goal, you're led by your dick. And this can also make you a pet. Because a lot of guys, there's a good bit of guys who think they're alpha men because they're getting sex. But they don't realize that girls running them through their dick. I'm a player out here. I'm a real one. I got all these women. But no. You don't get it. Like, you're not a player. You're just community dick. See, you don't actually have a mind of your own. You're not actually running anything. They're just letting you act like you're running shit so they can get dick out of you. They're running the same game on you that you think you're running on them. But the difference is, it looks different because you're a man. Oh, I got the pussy, so I'm the man. No, she's playing you, dog. These bitches ain't gonna never play me because I get the pussy. Okay. Well, how is it that all of these women that you fucking with, right? Every last one of them, or the majority of them, they're not. They'll never be down for you. They'll never break themselves for you. They never do that. You know what they do though? They call you and say, "I need you, Big Daddy, right now," and you say, "I'm the man." They want me. No. If you call them, 50-50. That's why you got a roster. Because you don't know who's going to actually come for you when you call. Because the only reason they'll come if you beat them to the punch. But you think you're running them when they're legit really just, you're just a community thought for them. When they actually need advice or guidance, or they need to be under a man's protection or provision, or need his knowledge, they're not calling you. You're not that dude. You're dick dude. But you think that makes you alpha dude. So, same thing when it comes to guys being ultra fashionable. This means, I look like I'm running things. But are you running things? See, this is what happens when you're dealing with the effeminate mind. It's an illusion. You're dealing with smoke and mirrors all the time. And, what winds up happening is, at some point, just like women hit the wall and the real set in, your effeminate mind is going to hit the wall and the real is going to set in. But the difference is, you ain't a woman. You can't hide behind being a woman. So you're going to have nobody gives a damn about your injuries once you hit the wall. Just my opinion. We out, yo. Peace.